Hi guys, my name is V and welcome to my channel where we talk about wisdom and spiritual concepts to help you live your best life. I myself am quite new to this journey. I found the path not too long ago and already it's been such a great journey of learning, of expanded consciousness and awareness. And today I just really wanted to bring it back to that very first moment where I discovered the world of, spirituality or an expanded consciousness, however you want to call it. So if you ever wanted to learn how to navigate the start of the journey, I can certainly share with you how I've gone about it, which I have to say wasn't really structured or anything. Everything in the spiritual world is somewhat of an organic unfolding. And I just really wanted to share with you how I started and what it's looking like so far. So let's get into it. Years of my adult life, I've sort of been just going through the motions. And of course, we go through life milestones like finishing high school, graduating from university, if that was your path that you took, getting your first job, getting your first promotion, or leveling up in your own field somehow, going through your first relationship, your first breakup, other relationships, other breakups. And it just, after a while, it just felt like I was going through the motions where everything was just rinse and repeat type of vibe. And I guess, it didn't take a rock bottom moment for me to realize that there was another world out there that I can tap into and learn more about. It was, in fact, a moment where I had just left a very not so great relationship. The dissolution of the relationship led me to feel uh, pretty much like a shell of myself. It made me feel like, gosh, there was this emptiness inside of me, and it wasn't really the heartbreak of the relationship that I was leading into, but what I was feeling was like, wow, I'm really depleted. I've lost my sense of self, and I don't know really where to go. Uh, and somehow, just by instinct, I was sitting in my living room, um, just contemplating how I got here, how I felt so devoid of connectedness with everything, and especially myself. I think my last relationship really taught me uh, how disconnected from the self I was, and how I didn't really value who I was and who I am and the value that I naturally have. So it was very interesting for me to sort of stumble on this spiritual path when I guess I must have went into a some form of prayer. I sat in my living room. I I just talked to what I thought was a higher power, just quite instinctively, and and I had some relief. I have to say, I had some relief from the pain that I was feeling after the aftermath of the breakup. But I was still living in pretty much this state where I was not really connected to myself. I was thinking that I didn't have any value. I I must have did something wrong for the relationship to turn out the way it did. So I was really in this self blame mode, and it wasn't until when I had to actually take a trip up to Sydney, and I had some time before I had to go into this seminar, and so I went to the local library and just sat down. I was like, okay, I just need some space to think. And just being in a different environment altogether was really helpful to sort of get yourself in the mode of thinking differently. And in that moment I sat down, okay, V, what is it that you need right now? What do you think you need right now? And for whatever reason, self-love came and just dropped into my mind. I was like, okay, self love. I never really explored that concept before. I don't really know what that is. And to be quite honest, I never really lived it. I grew up in such a way where Self-love wasn't taught. I didn't understand the concept. I I didn't know that it was so important to learn how to do and to treat yourself with kindness, to treat yourself the way that you would your best friend. It was so not in my vocabulary. So it was very interesting for me to hear that download from somewhere that I needed to find self love or to get on the path of self love. And so I I just jumped on my iPad and searched on Amazon Kindle books on self love, and I there was so many books that came up. So I'm really thankful that I'm at a time in modern civilization where I can just jump online, find books, and get them right into my hands pretty much immediately. But what was interesting was I wasn't drawn to any of the books with self love in the title. What came up for me uh, and what I was drawn to was in fact was the book called "The Universe Has Your Back" by Gabby Bernstein. And for those of you who know who Gabby Bernstein is, like she's amazing. I think her work is really inspirational and really breaks it down. The basic spiritual concepts for us to really try on in our everyday lives. So I really would encourage you to check out her work. And I'll probably do a video on her, on the book that pretty much started this journey for me later on down the track. So back to this video. Uh, the universe has your back. I just, for whatever reason, was drawn to it. I downloaded the sample and I opened up the sample, and without even going into the words, without even starting to read, in fact, I just felt this, I don't know, this overwhelming wave of just lightness. The pain that I was feeling in the pit of my stomach and in my the tightness in my chest just somehow, for the majority, dissipated. It just left almost instantaneously, and I just felt this overwhelming warmth just pulsating through. And then I left that library a completely different person. I can't explain it other than I don't know, the energy that book carried somehow transferred to me. And I know it sounds really woo woo, but I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just, I don't really know what it was, but it was just really a miracle is all I can say. And I can't really articulate uh, how that happened, but that was my experience. That the book just gave me a whole new, it just allowed me to release all that negative energy, and somehow instead of that negative energy I got um, this light in me. And I walked out of the library a completely new person. I went into the seminar, and people knew my situation. People at the seminar knew that I had just ended a relationship and was not feeling so great. But everyone commented that I looked like I was, I don't know, like I looked like a completely different person, that I had completely transformed myself in the span of a couple of days since they last saw me, because there was another seminar just a few days before. And I felt really different. I was really engaged. I was really present. I never really knew what being present feels like. I mean, I'm sure I've been present before, but I haven't been aware that I was feeling present. But this time I was really aware. I was really into what people were saying. I even got up, which is not really a thing I do. I got up and shared my 2 cents to everyone at the seminar, and I felt really confident. I felt like I was channeling. Actually, I felt like there was this energy that was channeling through me, and everything was just working out right. And that for a whole week during after that moment where I opened the book and I had this transformation, everything was just working out really, really well. Everything was just perfect, basically. I got a new job that I was going for. And it was effectively a promotion. It landed right at that week where things were just groovy. Um, I even went to a seminar in the middle of that week about finances, and there was a lucky door prize at this seminar, and I knew right off the bat, and I when I entered the room, I was going to win it. I just had this overwhelming knowing. I couldn't explain it. It was just I've never had anything that I was so without doubt. I just knew for sure that I was going to win this lucky door prize, and I was even so bold as to tell my friend who I went with, Rachel, I'm going to win that lucky door prize. And she was just sort of stupefied in the fact that, like, wow, okay, you seem pretty sure. And I was really sure. And she just said, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And then, sure enough, by the end of the seminar, I won the lucky door prize. And I've never really had a moment where I just knew, where I just knew like that. And everything for that whole week was really groovy. Everything unfolded perfectly. Felt like people were looking at me differently. I felt different about myself. I wasn't loathing myself anymore. And then it ended. You probably noticed that I said for a whole week. That kind of like high vibe, everything working out, everything unfolding perfectly kind of groove ended within a week because that week or that day on the seventh day, I I had plans to meet up with my ex, the guy that I just broke up with, and we agreed to meet with each other because it was actually his birthday, and I already had bought him a gift. So I thought let's meet up, catch up, even though we've broken up, and I can give you my gift, and hopefully we can just have a good positive interaction. And so we met up, everything was fine, and then just as we were about to wrap up and go our own way, he said something to the effect of, I just didn't see a future with you. Just sort of randomly and unsolicitedly, he said that. And I just thought, gosh, okay. And then it took me immediately back. I could feel all the pain, all the constriction in my chest, just coming straight back. And I was just like, gosh, that didn't last long. And gosh, why did I let him get to me like that? So I was really, I went into my old self preservation self again, where I was just A, blaming myself, B, giving my power to this other person because I bought into what he was saying. And and I was just really angry that, I let go of this beautiful opportunity, this miracle where everything just was feeling right. I was feeling really, really good for that whole entire week, and I was just on. I just felt like that was like an amazing week that I've ever had. But the upshot is, and I'm really thankful for this week was because it gave me a glimpse that how good life can be. How if you are present, if you're connected to yourself, uh, if you move through the world with grace, love, and light, then you can have a beautiful, beautiful life, and nothing in the outside world has has changed. And so that's why uh, um, it gave me a glimpse as to, wow, if you do the internal work, if you can change how you see yourself on the inside, everything else on the outside will reflect back to you how you're feeling on the inside. And this is how I found my spiritual path. I mean, that week was amazing. It gave me a glimpse as to what could be. I'm still working out, a path back to the self. Some days are good, some days are not so great, but it's all a part of the journey. And at least I know what the outcome looks like. And I've just never really had, um, and I've had moments of it when I've been back in that state again a few times. And it's been what, 3 years since that moment. And I think overall I've uplifted my vibrational baseline, if you want to call it that. Where what I mean by vibrational baseline is that I actually, in general, feel a lot better about myself, how I think, how I'm feeling. I think that I'm working off from a better foundation, a stronger foundation. And and I think it just made me aware that before I was working from a very flawed foundation. It was um, very much a flawed premise where it wasn't founded on self-love. It wasn't founded on self-respect. And no wonder things didn't really unfold the way you wanted to, because it was starting from um, a flawed premise. So that's really my spiritual journey so far. What really got me started on the spiritual path and wanting me to explore more about how spirituality uh, can help and support you in living a life that is more fulfilling, more peaceful, and and with greater clarity. And I'm still on that journey for sure. But I'm really excited that I found this path, and I do think that this is going to be key to living the most fulfilling life I can live during this time that we have here on earth. So I'm really excited to be on this path, on this journey. It's continuously unfolding. I'm learning so much. I'm coming across so many great leaders in this space. So of course, Gabby Bernstein is one of them. Deepak Chopra. Actually, I last weekend I went to a conference by Deepak Chopra in Sydney. So I'll also do a video about that, about the learnings that I got from that talk, which was a fascinating talk. So now I really want to invite you to reflect on your own journey. Have you had a moment in your life where it sort of puts you on the path of discovering that there is more to this world than the outer world, that it's drawing you inward, that it's making you ask bigger questions of yourself. It's asking you're asking questions like, am I actually fulfilled? Am I loving to myself? What makes me happy? Um, what is the quality in life that I really want more of as I go through and move through this world? So those are the types of questions. If you've been asking yourself that kind of those kinds of questions, then I'd say you're on the path. You are on the path, and it doesn't really have to take a big breakdown, like hitting absolute rock bottom to find this path. And I'm really really excited to hear more from you and how you found yourself here watching this video. I mean, it's still pretty bare bones and pretty raw at the moment, as I work through how to do this thing at a more professional level. But we'll keep it very simple. I just really wanted to share my story with you and invite you to share your story with me. If you can let me know down in the comments what your journey is like, or where you're going so far, what you want to discover, that way we can just let each other know that we're not alone in this journey. I felt like, I couldn't really talk to anybody about this because I just thought I was going a bit crazy. But I think we'll find it comforting if we share our stories and know that we are absolutely not alone, and that we are very privileged and lucky to be finding this path in this time in our lives. So thank you for watching. It's a bit of a long video. I didn't intend it to be. I'll get better at making these shorter. But thank you so much for following. And if you find any value in this channel, please let me know. I invite you to like and subscribe, of course. And hopefully, with the comments, I'll find out, what kind of content you would like to see. And hopefully we can create this co-dialogue together and grow together. So thank you for your time today, for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. And until the next video, I'll see you.